We're sitting here in the basement of a rental property that we purchased, and we wanted to share 6 commonly overlooked tips when it comes to buying a rental property.
First on our list is to meet with a mortgage officer to see what your options are. We were surprised when we sat down with a loan officer and he told us what was going to give us the most bang for our buck in the current market, and we assumed that they could do that in any real estate market situation. So he talked to us about our options with interest rates, down payments, what kind of creative financing we might qualify for, and he also introduced us to our real estate agent who he works closely with, that he had lots of experience with, that could help us down this path.
The second on our list is don't just look at existing homes, you might want to take a look at new builds as well. We've seen a lot of different options for existing homes. In fact, we spent months and months just looking at different houses, different units, and different things like that, trying to find the right home for us to rent, but we just didn't end up finding anything, and finally we found out that we should really be looking at some new builds as well. When we realized we could build a new house for less than the cost of buying an existing one, and everything was going to be brand new and fully functional, we were pretty excited about that. So we started to research that route, and it ended up being a great fit for us. The other part of that is because of the high interest rates right now, home builders are offering some pretty nice incentives for people to build with them. Obviously, they don't want to build a bunch of vacant homes, and so they're throwing in incentives like buying down your interest rate or giving you some pretty nice upgrades in the home that they otherwise wouldn't have, just to incentivize you to get into the house.
The third tip we learned is to consider single-family and multifamily dwellings. This may seem obvious, but while single-family homes can be a great option, any opportunity that you have to purchase a multifamily dwelling is also a great option. If one of your units is unoccupied, that's part of a duplex or a fourplex, for example, the impact on your bottom line won't be nearly as significant as it would be if you were relying on a single stream of income on that property.
Tip number 4 is seller financing. Now, this is something that was totally new to us, and we wanted to figure out how this works. So we talked to our real estate agent, Steve, and he kind of walked us through the whole thing. Right now, with interest rates being as high as they are, a lot of people are in a lower interest rate mortgage, and therefore they do not want to leave that. They don't want to buy something and then pay 7 or 8% in interest when they could just stay with what they've got ideally. Now, there's a couple of scenarios where this works best. One is if someone's behind on their mortgage, for example, and they have to sell to be able to get caught up, then if you can come up with a lump sum payment, then you can give that money to them, and basically you're buying the title at that point, and with that money then they can get caught up and then continue to make their payments. Or the other scenario is perhaps they just want to get out of that house, but they're okay to keep that in their name. So essentially they're paying the mortgage, but you're paying them for it. They give you the title, they move on to their next place, but you're the one who actually has the title for that, and then you put new renters in that property. This is definitely a more creative option, and it does require more legwork on your part to be able to find those types of people that are a good fit for this, but it can totally be a win-win, especially if you have a little bit of capital to put up front to make that happen. That's one of the keys, and that's one of the ways people will trust you, is if you can basically put your money where your mouth is and show them that you're willing to pay them to be able to take on or assume that loan.
The fifth tip we learned is that some home builders, even the big cookie cutter home builders, will build a separate basement apartment into the dwelling. There are certain lots that are ideal for having a separate entrance to the basement, so if it's possible to find a lot like that, then you can add on an RV pad on the side for separate parking, a basement entrance or a side entrance for a second unit entrance that's disconnected from the top. So that's something to talk about. Sorry.
Good.
So that's something to talk to your real estate agent about.
When you're talking normal and then
I know. So that's something to talk with your real estate agent about and see if they have experience with that and what knowledge they have working with home builders in the area and who can accommodate those things.
Tip number 6 is be careful if you are building what upgrades are worth your while. One of the things that we've experienced is upgrading to the best carpet that a new home builder offers oftentimes isn't worth it. Now, this of course will vary from home builder to home builder, but we've actually upgraded to really nice, the highest end carpet that they've had before. It's that low quality stuff with the cheap pad, and then you can kind of feel the grid underneath it, and it's just really not the ideal carpet that you want to have for something that's going to last for years and years.
No, 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 no.
when in retrospect, maybe it would have been better if we had just actually purchased the cheaper carpet, let it run its course, and then put nice carpet in ourselves when the time came. Another piece with that is other flooring, like luxury vinyl plank or luxury vinyl tile, for example, is often totally worth it because that's the type of thing that creates a waterproof barrier. It's harder to chip, it looks nice, a lot of times it has no gap. So that's definitely something that we found has been worthwhile doing because it lasts a long time and you get your money's worth right up front. Another one of these things is your kitchen cabinetry. Now, when we went to the design center for the model home, we found that there was actually 3 different options, and the base model was just not that attractive, honestly. It looked okay, right? But it's not something that's going to draw in renters the same, especially when you consider that for not much more money, you can get the medium upgrade or you can get the full upgrade with ceiling height cabinets. Now, of course, this is going to vary quite a bit from house to house and builder to builder, but make sure you're considering the fact that it might not cost much more to upgrade those cabinets while you're putting them in and get a lot more bang for your buck. The last upgrade that we like to consider is a separate shower and bath. It really does tend to make a big difference because kitchens and baths can really sell a house, or in this case, help attract the right renter. So having that separate kitchen and bath is another one that doesn't cost much more, but oftentimes is totally worth it and makes that bathroom feel a lot more like home, makes it feel a lot more luxurious, and definite upgrade for anyone looking to rent. Now, those are our 6, but we're sure that you've got some great feedback as well, especially if you've rented homes before. We'd love to hear what those are and leave that information in the comments below if you would. If you've got some other tips that you'd like to share, we would love to hear about those in the comments section below. And be sure to take a look because a lot of people are contributing some great comments from their experience as well. I'm Nils.
I'm Katrina.
With Learn to DIY. Thanks for watching. Now,
We
are
going
to
ask
you
to
share
your
favorite
home
opinions.
cut.